And welcome in. It is Saturday. It's a bye week. It's Juckonbucks here with you. We got a couple of interesting recruiting tidbits to go over. I am watching games Saturday. No Buckeyes game, of course, but we're keeping up on everything. So I wanted to take this opportunity to go over a couple of tidbits going on with some offensive line recruiting. As we know, offensive line recruiting, we are in desperate need of some tackle bodies. We need some big bodies. Tackles, the hardest thing there is to find in the transfer portal, particularly good tackles. There was, I've said it before, just to reiterate it once more, the transfer portal class of 2023 had 40 4-star or above offensive linemen. The 2024 cycle, both portal cycles, they count the one at the end of the season, even though it starts in December, as the 24 cycle. So both that one and the one in the spring, a total of just 12 4-star or above offensive linemen. And the reason that is because in 2023, the demand for them was so much that the price got driven up so much, there just wasn't enough supply to go around for everybody, that everybody realized we are way better off paying and making sure that our offensive linemen are happy here than letting them go and trying to replace them in the portal. And they did so. So kudos to them. However, if you need an offensive lineman out of the transfer portal, you got a problem. And I hear some people talking about next year, hypothetical question, is it going to be the two starting tackles? Will they be both from the transfer portal or guys we currently have on the roster? If you can pull off two starters at tackle in the transfer portal, I'd love to see it. I mean, I just, when you look at the guys that came out of the portal, it's highly unlikely that you're going to land two starters at tackle out of the portal. Highly unlikely. You would be talking about super big time money for both guys. And, you got to win those recruitments on top of it. They're getting super big money from everybody. So you're winning the recruitment battle and paying the money. My point is, we need the pipeline coming from offensive line recruiting with those big body tackles. And we offered a couple this week. So let's go over them. One in the class of 2025, one in the class of 2026. The fella in the class of 2025 is one of the guys of the amazing Georgia Tech offensive line class. Let's take a look at that class first. All right, so we start with Josh Petty, the guy that we were in on, and Georgia Tech just ended up going crazy with the money there. And like I said before, this guy, if Georgia Tech and Stanford are in your Final Five and you're seriously considering it, you've got different priorities. He's really big on getting that big time diploma, and they paid him a ton of money, so they got him. He goes to Georgia Tech. They also land this fella here, Justin has a stuff. He is another big time 6'5", 300-pounder, top 300-ish guy. And then they went ahead and grabbed the fella we just offered, Demola, and Demola's 6'6", 280, top 300 guy, 231 in the country, 6'6", 280. I think he's a little bit bigger from his film, and we'll watch that in a second here. And then to round off the class, they just went ahead and grabbed three more offensive linemen, 3-star dudes from South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. So obviously Georgia Tech all in on the offensive line. We've seen them play so far this year. It looks like they got things going in the right direction, and they're certainly trying to load up for the future. Now, the Bucks offer our fella here, trying to get in on this, and he is a guy who Georgia is in on as well, and he's got a good relationship with Georgia. He just committed in August to Georgia Tech. They're obviously going to try to hold on to him as hard as they can with the money, and they're going to be in bigger than Georgia or Ohio State with the money, I'd imagine. It's just a huge investment they got going on for offensive line right now, and that's what it is. So Justin Fry enters into this race obviously late, and this is something we've talked about for a while now. If the guy's good enough to offer now, why wasn't he good enough to offer earlier on where there was time to develop a relationship? Now you're coming in late, which sometimes can win the day. Other times, you're just at a big disadvantage. More times than not, you're at a big disadvantage. So that's what we're looking at with that fella here for the class of 2025 as we try to add on to the class that has Jake Cook, Carter Lowe, and now Javon McFadden. We got another offer out that just came out this week, and that is to JB Shabazz. JB Shabazz listed at 6'7", 295. He is composite 3-star top 500 player in the country, and from Kernsville, North Carolina. The competition, not so hot, and it's just kind of got me. Here's his offer list, right? So as you can see, Ohio State kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on his offer list. None of these other programs really in Ohio State's stratosphere. And the interesting part here is when you talk about Shabazz, we need tackle bodies. He fits the bill. Watched his film. I like him. I'll play it here in a second. Definitely a guy that I think we should get on the roster if we can. But the strange part is he's in the same class and the same exact size as a guy in our backyard in Adam Guthrie. Adam Guthrie, his composite, top 213 player in the country. And when you look at Guthrie's list of offers, you basically got everything that Shabazz has, and then you add on to it Florida and Florida State and Miami, Missouri, Nebraska, Oregon, Penn State, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M. So rated way higher, offered by just about everybody except for his hometown school that he wants to play for, which I just find really flipping strange. These dudes are the same size. It's just weird. And maybe you can say that rankings aren't everything. Okay, fair enough. Let's watch the tape and see what you think. So we are queuing up Adam Guthrie. Adam Guthrie is currently 6'7", 295 pounds. That's him, number 77 on the left side, or is it 73? And the first thing you notice is obviously his immense size. He's enormous. He's a true tackle. Now 6'7", 295. This is a top 200 prospect in the country. We'll go over his offer list after we watch him. Camped at Ohio State over the summer, and his feet are quick for a dude that size. You normally see it take some time for them to grow in to moving their feet quick. He's got a really good kick step, and he's aggressive, and that's the main thing we like to see in offensive linemen at the high school age. Is he aggressive? Does he like to get nasty, or is he a guy that just kind of got pushed into football because the coaches really begged him and his parents thought maybe there was a future there, and then he realized he's kind of good at it because he's big? Guthrie has always struck me as a kid who likes playing football, and I mean, it's pretty apparent in his film. We also need to factor in that this is lower level competition, which means he's going to be a little better here than he would be if he was playing at a Division I program in Ohio. So we factor that in. But, you know, the aggression, the size, I think it's readily apparent that this is a high-level Division I prospect, and that's why he's got offers from the likes of Texas, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Oregon, Florida, Florida State, Nebraska. I mean, he's got offers from everybody but Ohio State, Bama, and Georgia. And the fact that he is in Miami Trace, he's here in Ohio, it's not often we get a 6'7", 300 pounder that we don't offer that's a top 200 prospect. And it's just kind of struck in me. It's just been weird. It's just been very odd to me. I don't understand why this dude's not locked in. And you got to wonder what's going on here. And you really got to wonder when I show you next, the guy that we just did offer in the class of 2026. And we're going to watch him next, JB Shabazz. So let's take a look at JB Shabazz next. All right, this is JB Shabazz, 6'7", 300 pounder out of North Carolina. Shabazz is ranked 500 in the country, 3-star kid, but we don't care about that. We care about, does he have the prerequisite size? Does he move well? Does he have aggression? Is he a kid that's been forced into football because he's big? Or does he love it? Like Guthrie, not very high-level competition. And you can see that he's able to dominate these guys fairly easily. So let's watch how he moves. And a little hesitation there, but he's driving his guy. You like to see that? Certainly looks like a guy that, we're in need of tackle bodies on this roster. There we go. Like to see that. A little bit of aggression. We're in need of tackle bodies, and they are tough to come by in the transfer portal. We got to get them in recruiting. It's hit or miss in the transfer portal as to whether or not you can bring in dudes of this size. They are the most rare thing in that transfer portal, particularly if they're any good. So I love the offer to JB Shabazz. This is definitely a prospect that we're going to want. And we got out of that pretty quick. That was pretty weak. But he can move. You can see that he can move. I don't think he is as quick on his feet as Adam Guthrie. I don't think he quite has the aggression of Adam Guthrie, and I think that reflects in not only their rankings, but in their offer list. So there you go. You be the judge. Same size. Guthrie, clearly more aggressive, quicker on his feet, and every bit as long with his arms. I just don't get it. There is the old adage that you can't offer Ohio kids because they'll accept immediately. And what if you don't want him? You want him. You want him on an 85-man roster when you got 85 scholarships. You definitely want him when you got 105. You damn near want him just for his size, even if he was a 500 ranked prospect in the country, like Shabazz. You certainly want him when he's 213 and rising with offers from all your competition. It's just odd, man. Something's odd. And we go back to Will Conroy. Talk to Will, and he is coming for the Iowa game. And there has been rekindled interest from Justin Fry to him, much more contact. And that's a great thing. Will Conroy, the center up at St. Ignatius, who is a 3-star guy, but some people think the best center prospect in the country, including Mark Givler over at Buckeye Huddle. Over on 247 at Bucknuts, Mark Porter, who does nothing but analyze prospects. That's what he does. He's not even really into recruiting. He just analyzes prospects in the state of Ohio. He absolutely fawns over Will Conroy, but the communication hasn't been there. And now it's picked up, according to Will Conroy. So he is feeling better about things, got me feeling better about things, because that's a prospect we really want to. We've talked about this excellent class of 2026 in the state of Ohio. Guthrie and Conroy, 2 of those guys, 2 of the top 4. And, the other 2, Maxwell Riley, things are looking good with him out of Avon Lake. And Sam Greer out of Hoban, I think, is going to come down to a classic Ohio State-Michigan battle. That's my guess right now, based on the relationships and how it's going. Conroy being very heavily pursued by Michigan, and they really like him. He really likes the way they've been in recruiting with him. The attention and they make him feel like a priority, and he really likes that. So they're doing a great job up there with recruiting our Ohio kids. I certainly hate to see Buckeye kids from Ohio get out of the state who could have played at Ohio State, but when it's up there, it really stings, especially when they turn out to be good players. And as far as Hoban goes, that's a school we need to lock the hell down. It's not just Sam Greer. There's dudes coming up the pipeline behind him. It's one of the most talented programs in the state now. And Michigan got a dude out of there a couple of years ago. The relationship's getting good with the coaching staff. We've got to plant the flag in Akron at Hoban for sure. So now let's take a look at our fella from Georgia that's committed to Georgia Tech and see what we think of him. And again, let's pull him up. He is Demola, and this is the guy for this year's class. Those other 2 are for next year's. And keep in mind, when we watch his film, he is a year older in this film than those other 2. 6'6", I think he's about 290 now. and he is a top 230 prospect. So ranked about where Adam Guthrie is in the class of 2026, but he is for this year's class, the class of 2025. And let's have a look at our guy here. So he is in Georgia, and I'm not sure the division that Duluth plays in, but you can certainly see that he is going against better competition than the kid from North Carolina, Shabazz, or Adam Guthrie, in a very low level at Miami Trace in Ohio. You can see just the speed and the size immediately is definitely different. And you can see that our guy here, that was a little slow off the line there, but definitely aggressive, like the way he moves. And I don't even know why you would put this one on a highlight film. We can't see a damn thing here. Number 55 here. And you can see him pulling there, move. Look, I like that. This dude can move. He's aggressive. He's big. He's tough. This is a good looking prospect here. This is a good looking prospect. Let's watch his feet here. Those are quick feet on a dude that size. Obviously, that guy half his size, but like scheduling, you can only play who's in front of you. Okay, release, and he's going to take this guy out of the play. Like it. Got out there on his horse, like we saw Josh Fryer last week. Good pass blocking, smash your man to the ground. So that's our new guy, and this name is tough. Demola. We'll just call him Demola. So Demola is the new offer, and again, August is when he committed to Georgia Tech. So Georgia's in on him. He's in the state. I guess there's this might depend on how much Georgia Tech's willing to go. They got money-wise, they got a lot of dudes in the class playing offensive line, but he is, a pretty damn good prospect. And it seems like they're all in. So can the Buckeyes muster up a relationship good enough where you can come in then with a better offer? Georgia won't. They don't need to. So they won't really be in the running if this becomes a little bit of a money situation. I don't believe. So we'll see. But that is currently where we're at with the offensive line. And with our guy here, Demola, it's just, you could have been on this guy way earlier. Who knows what could have happened then? But that's the current state of our offensive line. And we also saw an offer go out in the class of 2027, which I love. Don't even want to get into the guy because nobody's going to care at this point. The point is he's out there sending out offers and scouting guys at 27, and that's great. So anyway, that is our update on offensive line recruiting from your boy here at Juckonbucks. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you guys later. Juckonbucks.